Hi, I'm back. Welcome back to Evi Turquesa Dot, and I am back to share that video that I promised. This is the process video for phase number 16, and I will share with you the different steps that I took in order to create her. Some of them I thought I had recorded and I didn't, so I'm sorry for that, but you'll see all of the content in the video. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm missing something in the back of my wall. Those of you who've seen my videos before, today at 5 o'clock or 5:30 in the morning, my husband jumped out of bed and said something fell, and I'm like, I had recently gone to bed because I was dealing with teenage issues here, so I was having conversations until like 3 in the morning with my girl. So I was finally falling asleep when he jumped out of bed, and I didn't even get up. And this morning I found out that my whole top tier of shelves with my punches fell to the floor because of the weight, and I have all of my punches on that table now. All of that first part was on the floor this morning, including my aprons, and there was a little dress form with pockets, and it was filled with all of my beads. Thank God that the beads did not fall out of their containers, because that would have been a nightmare to sort out and pick out. But I think that added weight totally made that shelving fall to the floor. So that's white space that you see up there. It's because my shelves fell this morning. So that's how my Sunday started. So anyways, I'll be able to get to that at some point. Hopefully he'll put it up again, and I won't put as much weight on it this time. And my wall will look filled up with the punches again, because I don't know where I'm gonna put them if I can't have that on the wall, because look at the clutter. I have to fix the studio. So anyways, let's get to that. I'm gonna share with you the phase number 16, and hope you enjoy it. So thanks for stopping by and taking a look. I'll see you later. Okay, so this is the page that I started with. I added several different stamps to create a background texture. And actually one of those stamps is the one that Marla sent me. Thank you, Marla, for sharing that stamp that you were not using. I got to use it on my background. And I mixed it up with a couple other ones just to create that interesting background to start working with. Now I'm going to add some India ink in Van Dyke Brown. And what I'm thinking is that I want to add some dripping from the top of the page going down. So I start applying that brown on that top edge. And I'm having a little bit of a hard time because I was working in a very tight space with very little room and no paper towel to make the drips on. So yeah, I was kind of going for it without too much planning. But I didn't get enough liquid on that, so it wasn't dripping enough. I've decided to add some orange in the same India ink by Dr. Martens to that brown to make it a little bit more liquid and have more of the ink coming down. And once it started going down, I went back and added some more brown to it. So now it's really dripping, and I stopped it halfway because I didn't have anywhere to catch it at the bottom. And I went in with a baby wipe to spread some of that ink around the page. And once I started, I really liked how it looked, so I kept on going. And then I've decided to add some of this bright gold in iridescent. This one's by Liquitex, and I'm adding it from the bottom, dripping down to the top. So I'll be adding that to the bottom of the page and letting that drip towards the opposite side just to see what happens. And again, I didn't add enough liquid to it, so I added the brown to the gold, and I started dripping both of them down and letting it play on the page as it was going down. And once it started dripping a little bit, I added some little pieces of gold around the page in through the center. And since this paint was more of a thicker consistency, I've decided to do the same thing that I did with the baby wipe, but this time I'm going to use a paper towel because it has that interesting texture on it, and it will just give it a different look. So I'm spreading all of those colors around and giving that page some fun color by just mixing it up. So now I get my drip marks, but I also get all of that effect by using the wipe first and then the paper towel. And this is how the page looks now that I've added all those layers of ink onto the stamped background. And it's all earth tones now. And I've forgot to record this part, so I already started with the India ink in black to do my silhouette, and that's a face that I saw on the page. So I just went in with a pencil, very light outline marks to get the proportions, and I went in and I drew it with the dropper and the black ink. That's all I did to that, and created that profile face. And now I'm just putting down some guidelines with my pencil just so that I know where to keep adding the ink. And I'm going to change to the Bombay Black India ink because I think it's not going to smear as much as the Liquitex was doing. And as you see, the paint is going on thicker and it's not spreading as much as the other one was. So I have way more control. And that's exactly the way I did the rest of it. With the Liquitex, I was drawing all of the face using the dropper. So no brush on this one, no fancy drawing on this one, just some guideline lines with the pencil, and then going in with my ink and creating that face by only adding the ink to the face, to the page. And I think that the Bombay turned out way better than the Liquitex. Even though I thought the Liquitex was going to be thicker, it ended up spreading. So I'm just defining the lines a little bit more. By changing the ink. Adding that little mouth. And going over those lines that spread out a little bit. And now I'm going to go in for that eye. And the eyebrow. And the lady, all made with ink, is done. So my face number 16 was created by using different types of ink, stamping, and then the Liquitex and the Bombay inks to create her. And she was a lot of fun to work with. And I could not stop, can you see? I kept on going back, and even after I made this video, I went back in and added a little bit more to the nose and a few more lines to the hair. But I really, really enjoyed the process of creating her with inks. So now I'm just drying her up with a heat gun and adding my journaling part, which is calling her, and that's Periscope for you, calling her Ink Lady and face number 16 for October. So yay! My Ink Lady is done. All I have to do now is go over my initial journaling part and make it bolder so that it will stand out a little bit more. So I'm just going over my lines with my Fude pen, which I love, and you guys know that because I share it every time I use it. And I'm just going over those lines to make them thicker and finish this page off. So I hope you enjoyed the process video for this face, since I have not been able to share the rest of them as I was creating them. I wanted to make this one a process video. So I hope you liked it. Hope it wasn't too slow and long. And yeah, really enjoyed playing with these. So thanks so much for watching and for your comments, and hope you're enjoying the faces that I'm sharing this month. Hugs to all, besitos, take care, and stay on if you want to see the products that I used. I'll share them at the end of the video. So these are the inks that I used. A combination of Dr. Martens Bombay inks and Liquitex. I also used the black ones, which I did not share in this part, but you saw them in the video. I'm trying to focus on them. And then for the stamps that I used to create that initial background that I shared, I used this Hero Arts key cling stamp. I also used this woodblock stamp and this one that Marla had sent. Thank you, Marla! And then I also used this one for the burlap type of effect. And that one's by Stampabilities. And last but not least, yeah, I went back in to try to share the mesh background is the name of the stamp. And then I also used this one. And this one was sent to me by Neri. So thank you, Neri.